How's everybody doing? Good morning and good morning. Hey, everybody. You can plant above ground crops for a waxing moon. Hey, Fortune. Let me know if you guys can hear me this morning. Let me know if you can hear. Let me know if you can hear. Good morning. Good morning, Cece. Yes, you can hear. Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Okay. Thumbs up. Perfect. Good morning, Homesteader Rachel. How are you? I got my coffee this morning. Pretty happy about it. So you guys were in the chat chatting already. So let me go in and say hello to everybody. So I think I saw Lynette this morning. Maureen, good morning. I saw you this morning. Chris, good morning. Fortune, good morning. Let me see. Fortune, Cece, good morning. Good morning, brother. You got your tea, Maureen? Tea is a great alternative option. I've been drinking tea this week because I was saving the least little bit of cream. Good morning, that's my art. Good morning. So before I logged in this morning, y'all know I have no business looking at this magazine, but I kept putting it off and I didn't get a chance to really look in it. So I'm just browsing, not buying, but browsing. I haven't really seen anything that I want yet, although I am pretty curious about bare root stuff, so like asparagus and strawberries and stuff like that. Good morning, Unbiased. How are you? CC says, oh, okay. Oh man. So like I'm kind of curious. So like yeah, I'm kind of looking at it. And I mean I have bare root strawberries and I have bare root asparagus, but you know, it's always good. And then I'm seeing like all the potatoes and stuff. I'm not going to buy it, but it doesn't hurt to look, right? Doesn't hurt to look. So I'm going to let everybody come on in and say good morning. And we're going to get right to it in a few. Give everybody a chance to stay. You still want Juneberry strawberries? Are those the strawberries? Are Juneberry strawberries the strawberries that pretty much produce all at the same time in one big flush? We know where your kind of looking means, what your kind of looking means. I mean, listen, no, yeah, be strong, no purchase needed. Yeah, one and done, that, okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just looking. Doesn't hurt to look, you know. I think I have a lot of this stuff already, if that makes you, I mean, it makes me feel better. For most of it, I have already. But, Fortune, why do you want the Juneberry if they all come on at the same time? I'm just curious as to anybody's rationale for it. Uh, Good morning, good morning, good morning, Hog of the Forsaken. Welcome on in. Grand Rising Hoyt. Who is that? Hoyt. I don't know. Hoyt. I'm just gonna call you Robinson because I don't want to mess up your name. Grand Rising. All first time catching you live. The reason you started gardening in the house, you love to eat fresh salad. Hey, yeah. It hurts your pocket to look. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. Good morning, J3. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There's some pretty flowers in here too. Okay. You have quite a few everbearing. Just want some Junes to see what you like best. Yeah, I heard that the taste of the strawberries are quite different. So, yeah, everbearing versus June bearing. And then there's like, I saw online like two other types of strawberries too. So, yeah, I guess. I actually might get some June. I want to get two different types of strawberries to see which one I like the best. So if anybody has any recommendations on strawberries, let me know this morning. Let me just grab something to write with this morning. I don't know where my pens are. Here we go. Here's one. So, yeah. Good morning, Miss JK. How are you? Good morning, Tampa. Drive safely, please. So, yeah, like I said, welcome to spring, everybody. Welcome to spring. I have like I've been like poking at this scab on my finger. I cut my finger this week doing something outside. I don't even remember what I was doing. So, yeah. Good morning, Donzel. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. All right. So, let me do some housekeeping rules. Number one, PG-13 stream. Make sure we keep the chat and everything related to gardening and what we're talking about this morning. My mods are I feel like the best mods there are. So, mods, you can go ahead and drop your channels in the chat with your commands. And yeah, so good morning, PG-13 stream. We talk about, mostly all things gardening here. Come on in and say hello to everybody. We don't bite over here. Yeah, welcome to spring. Good morning, Rob. Number two, gosh, I'm having like a brain fart this morning. Number two, make sure you hit the like button on your way in, everybody. Hit the like button on your way in. I also put up a poll this morning. Make sure you answer the poll um, this morning. Why does that have this on here? All right, make sure you answer the poll this morning. Good morning, Habitual. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Go in and take the poll. Hit the like button on your way in because I know if you're like me, sometimes you can forget. Number three, before anybody asks, I do not grow cannabis. Okay? And so, yeah, and make sure number four, make sure everybody comes in, chats, and has fun this morning. I like to have an interactive stream. And for those of you watching the replay, I try to give some very helpful information. So, yeah, throughout the stream, we'll kind of wander off sometimes, but for the most part, I have a topic here and we do it. Thank you for the floating heart. Unbiased, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the floating heart this morning. We're starting off the stream right this morning. So thank you, Unbiased, for the floating heart. I did put a goal up this morning, so you guys helped me hit that goal this morning. And I'm going to do a garden giveaway. It's not necessarily going to be all seeds, but there will be stuff in something, and I will do a giveaway today if we hit the goal today. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes today. So good morning, good morning, good morning. So I don't know about anybody else, but I recently got a raised bed. I garden in the ground. I do a bit of container gardening. I have a couple green stalks. I'm doing hydroponics. So I know that for the most part, a lot of people garden in different ways. So that's kind of what I want to talk about this morning, right? So that's kind of what I want to talk about this morning. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat because you guys are going pretty fast this morning. So I'm trying to pay attention to the chat. And I kind of want to know, Habitual said you're all containers over there. So if you're in the chat, I want to talk about, and if you have any tips and things that are working for you, when we get to the section about how you garden, feel free to give all your tips and tricks, what has worked for you, what has not worked for you, what you want to try, all those things. So for me, I know that I'm not so new with in the ground, right? But I am kind of new to some of the container and hydroponics. So, hey, you got to do it. So Cece wants to know how the disciples are doing. And I think it's funny that she called them that. I didn't realize that I was naming them after apostles last week, but I have a couple groundhogs and I have a skunk that's been running around. And the update is we haven't caught any of them, but I also only saw them once last week. Okay. So yeah. Habitual hobbies. Okay. I actually have one slightly raised in-ground bed that I use for flowers. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. We're gonna go over in-ground, raised bed, containers, vertical, and hydroponics today. So make sure you go in, you ask questions, you give tips, because I say it all the time. that now you have me looking, CC. So they hang out over in the house over that way. So yeah, I like to figure out what everybody else is doing. I like to think about the cost analysis of it, the pros and cons of different growing. And I will tell everybody all the time, I don't know everything. Like, yes, I've been gardening for a while, but I don't know everything. And when I come across someone's channel or someone giving me advice on how they do things, I like to listen. Um, That's a great question. So yeah, I like to listen to what other people say. So Habitual Hobbies asks me, Chas, if you could only use one growing method, which would it be? Honestly, I love in-ground gardening. I feel like the plants get much larger with in-ground gardening. It's a bit of sometimes a bit more work in my opinion, but if I had to choose of all of them, I would choose in-ground gardening. I actually might make that a poll question, Habitual. That was a great question this morning. So if I had to choose of all the ones, I would grow in-ground. Thank you, Four Seasons. Look at that. We're on our way to hitting the goal this morning. Thank you so much. Gardeners from New York here. Welcome into the stream. Welcome in. Make sure you come in, hit subscribe, and hit that like button, everybody. Thank you so much. Four Seasons. Welcome to the chat, Jacqueline. I don't know if I said good morning, but good morning to you, Grand Rising. So yeah. And she says, thank you for all you do for the gardening community. Welcome in, Nancy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so now I finally got somebody that's growing in relatively near my grow zone. So Nancy, D Moore from New York, welcome on in. Make sure you hit that like button this morning. Oh yeah, Four Seasons. Four Seasons has chicken, you guys. And have you spread your fertilizer for your chickens yet? Is the question in the stream this morning. Have you spread your fertilizer for your chickens? Yes, in-ground gardening also, but tree roots don't want you to be great. Wow. Tree roots don't want you to be great. You're loving your little arrow garden. Okay, we're going to talk about hydroponics in a little bit. Let me get started so that we don't run out of time today, because that happened to me, I want to say last week a couple times. And if I have time, I'm going to show you guys what's growing indoors. And I might try to take you outside, but like I said, I don't know how my internet is going to work since we switched. I haven't really tried it. So we're going to start off with no foraging. She has not cleared out her summer garden. There you go. There we go. Okay, so I also asked this morning, so the squirrel this morning is playing in the tree. So these squirrels are kind of mad because we cut out part of the tree. You bought a burdock root yesterday. You have no idea how to grow it. I don't know that I've ever heard of a burdock root, so I might be Googling that in a little bit. So yeah. So let's talk about in-ground gardening, right? It's honestly the most traditional way of gardening. I do it, a lot of you guys do it. Like I said, I think things grow bigger in ground. I know my peppers definitely grow bigger in ground. So it's cost effective. You don't need to buy a lot of soil or building materials. You just use your native soil. So yeah. Oh wow, Nancy. Nancy says, I feel 8 green stalks with Happy Frog yesterday. You're getting ready. Wow. Isn't burdock invasive? I have no idea. Foraging. Matter of fact, just because I'm curious, y'all, I'm going to sway away. Let's see. Burdock root. The roots get like 2 feet long. Wow. What is it used for? Sore throat, wounds, and fever. Okay. Good morning, Gwen. Good morning. Wow. Okay. You want to start in-ground gardening this year. You have an area of your yard that you can. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So let's go back to in-ground. So like I said, it's cost effective. Um, Plants can develop deep root systems. So like I said, I don't know if you guys ever saw me before pull out something. When I start pulling out my plants, you see like the roots for them are massive. Um, it makes them more drought tolerant. And I don't know about you guys, but I see plenty of earthworms in ground gardening. So And you know is spacious and is in ground is ideal for large crops like corn, pumpkins, anything that sprawls along the ground, zucchini, squash. Um, but yeah, that big root makes it invasive. You can't get it all out when it's spread underground. Okay. You would have to build up your soil in Virginia. You have clay soil, so you can't grow while growing effectively. Um, 4 seasons. I don't know if you remember from last week. There, and you probably know this already, Miss Master Gardener, but to grow in ground with clay soil, there's a lot of different things you could do to amend the soil. So it's possible to get that was it called loamy soil. It's possible to get that. So for those of you that are growing in the ground, what is it that you prefer to grow in ground? Like, give me some different plants that you like to grow in the chat. Um, so, and I've never done a soil test, but some people do soil tests just to test their pH and nutrient levels. Your local extension can help you do soil tests. I thought about doing it, but then I also thought about how sometimes I could be a little OCD-ish, and if I found out my soil levels are not right, it's going to drive me crazy. So I don't know if I'm okra for sure. So for sure, okra grows super, super tall. Last year, I grew okra in ground, and the okra got taller than me. So after a while, I just chopped it down or I pulled it out. Anything but mint, lemon balm, and tomatoes. You don't grow tomatoes in ground. I find that when you grow tomatoes in ground, they get super big. You love daisies and purple cone flowers. They're coming back up from last year in the ground. Amazing. Oh yeah, you can send your samples to Rutgers for testing. Rutgers actually has like this gardening program that I'm looking into doing next year. Next year you'll plant garlic and onions in the ground. Okay. Good morning, Rose. Grand Rising. Hope you got your coffee. Cheers, everybody. Hope you got your coffee this morning. So, but yeah, I like in-ground. So let me just tell you some of the cons that you have garlic in all your in-ground bed. Yeah, I have garlic. So what I did was I planted my garlic in specific places. Uh, if you remember what my garden looks like, I have like the cinder blocks. So I planted garlic along in the cinder blocks. Absolutely, Nancy. Maybe that's something that we can link up and do. Good morning, Joe Maxwell. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Tomatoes are just so intrusive. You plant one every year and they multiply by two. Yeah. So yeah, you think you could check with the, what did you say, Forge? I think you can check with your county extension. They test the soil and water and will help you pressure canning. Okay. Sadly, you're still getting ready for work and call. Okay. No problem. Habitual. No problem. Habitual. So I feel like I missed some messages. One that I wanted to read. So for my tomatoes, let me ask you this. Who said it? Rose. For your tomatoes, do you prune the suckers away? That's what I'm curious because that is the only way that mines grow out of control is when I don't prune my suckers. So for tomatoes, I prune my suckers, and so whereas they do get really big, they don't get like intrusive. I find like I go in and y'all know I don't mind cutting on a tomato plant because I just feel like it's gonna grow no matter what. They are so resilient that it really doesn't matter what you do to the tomatoes. So I could just say this, right? There are some cons to in-ground planting, and sometimes it requires tilling if you're planting in a certain place the full time. I know a lot of you don't believe in tilling. There's a lot of no tillers in the chat, so I do till sometimes, because sometimes I find that some of my in-ground beds get a little root intensive, and I need to get those roots out so that I can work the soil and plant in the way I want to. You prune suckers off your indeterminate tomatoes and you leave them on the determinates. Correct. Yes. And they still, tomatoes are garden snacks around here. Correct. Oh, thank you, Joe. So Joe is saying he loved the conversation I had with the other nice lady about how she finds peace in the garden. and losing track of time. So very true. Yeah, so that's on the podcast. And for those of you that don't know, I have a podcast. It's on the channel. And if you don't have time to watch it and you have Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it's also there and you can listen. There's an option for you to listen only. Um, can anyone recommend a shade cloth to help block the sun? My plants can't survive the southern heat. Wow. I think that Cece has a shade cloth that she uses. You use your pitchfork and you broad fork the soil. Yeah, I don't have a pitchfork yet, so I'm looking into getting one. I till if needed. You prune your tomato plants. Great. You just got a big wood chip delivery and you're excited about the endless possibilities. Cece puts wood chips in the bottom of her raised bed. I don't really, yeah, got to block. So here's the thing, Rose. I know it sounds funny to block the sun, but places like Texas, they get like extreme heat. It gets so hot that it cooks their vegetables on the plants. So they need the shade cloth, right? And I want to say there was one summer here that it got so hot that the sun was like cooking my vegetable too. I need overalls and a pitchfork. I think I have some overalls, no pitchfork though. You yes, wood chips. You compost and wood chips with your chicken and goats. That's what you do as well. Good morning, Tia. Good morning. I'm biased. Any on Amazon has at least 60% shade. Okay, so there you go. There you go. So some of the cons, it's labor intensive. Good morning, Mike. It's labor intensive, soil dependent, so you're stuck with the soil that you have. There are different ways to amend the soil, but it can get expensive and it could be a major challenge for some if you don't have time to do it. So that's a con to um, planting in the ground, and accessibility. It can be tough on the back and the knees if you're down there with your in-ground gardening, right? So also another thing that we talked about in the previous stream, so dropping some nuggets on you guys. Make sure you top dress with compost. We talked about that intensively on another live stream, so that's something that you could do for an in-ground garden. So yeah, and it improves the soil structure and fertility. There's a good shade cloth at Walmart that's green. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't really looked into shade cloths. My grandmother actually wants a shade cloth, so um, oh, really? Cece. So Cece is saying she already has some shade cloth up there in the 80s. I'm slightly jealous. Um, Joe is saying how he hopes most of you have a good family garden setting. Nothing wrong with big company stores, but they do cost more. So if you have like a local nursery or family garden center, those tend to be, and the products and the things that they sell there tend to be a bit better than the big box stores too. So that's the other thing about it. And then another thing about all right, so brother, you've been a member for 3 months, okay? 3 months, and he said this is your sign to become a member today. Thank you for all the hearts everybody's dropping in. Y'all making me feel super special today. You stuck a tomato out there yesterday and you needed a shade cloth. You're scared to look at her today. Oh no. Fortune, is it hot where you are? Y'all drop your temperatures in the chat. Let me see how jealous I really need to be this morning. Because y'all talking about shade cloth and heat. Oh, I like that. What is that? A clapping seal? I like that. 87 here in Missouri yesterday. 90s and oh my God. You sunbathe in the garden during the sunny hours, jelly and tropical weather gardeners. Mid 80s this week. Hot as heck. 90s today. What? I feel like I'm missing out over here. Y'all got all this good weather and we're barely getting into the 70s. Barely. 82 for today. Okay, I get the point. So y'all are this let me go to this poll, right? Wow. It's 100 on the West Coast. Beautiful 70s today. What are you doing with your gardening day today? And of course, let me get back to this. I want to finish up with the in-ground gardening. Make sure you put a thick layer of straw or wood chips to suppress weeds and retain moisture. So I just bought some straw for my garden this year. This will be my first year covering my garden beds with straw. So I'm hoping that I like it. I'm hoping that it doesn't get to be too much. I just don't know how thick I want to layer my garden with straw. That's my art 60s for now, high of 72 for today. Tia says, chilly here in Florida today, 57 now, headed to 79. That's awesome, nice weather if you ask me. It seems really nice to me. The new real year, fall, spring. I feel like we had our fall, spring last week. So it was so nice. And then all of a sudden, boom, it got cold. So I think now it's warming back up. And I just hope that we don't get another fall, spring, because I want to start putting some stuff out. So actually, I think a lot of you, let me end this poll real quick. So 59% of you are saying that you have started planting your plants. I'm jealous. The only plants that I have outside that's safe for me to plant are some brassicas at this point. So the only ones I have right now are brassicas. So the reason why you guys keep seeing me look over there is because we got the groundhogs that aren't bothering me, but the squirrels are like going crazy in my yard today. Yes, these past few days have been transplanting everything except for watermelon, jalapeno, pumpkin, and they're still in the greenhouse. You saw my short video on transplanting. Okay, cool. Your Adalia overwintered. She's coming back. Yes, you use straw or animal bed shaving. Okay. Animal bed shaving. Is that like fur? You did not like the spring weather last year. Last year was a little tricky. Four Seasons carrots in the elevated bed, starting tomatoes in the hydroponics, cutting wood for 30 meat chickens. You got this week. Okay. All right. So I'm glad that I heard someone say that they started carrots in their raised bed that has not the same weather as me because of the microclimates, but similar weather. So I may actually take my little square foot planter and plant some carrots in my raised bed too, because I do want to put them in a section. No pine shavings from Tractor Supply. Meat birds. Do your squirrels plant pecans and other? Yeah, so they don't plant pecans, but they've been planting peanuts all around in the garden. I haven't put anything detrimental outside. You direct sow some squash and beans, adding some cucumbers soon. You got about 350 packs of seeds for free. So I'm taking again. Wow, 350 packs of squirrels. I mean seeds. Yeah, that's a lot. Yes, you were thinking of direct sowing carrots, beets, and spinach. I think I'm gonna do some carrots and some beets. You haven't planted anything outside yet. So funny that we started talking about that. The next thing we're gonna talk about are raised beds. I'm not very experienced with raised beds, so I'm using, um, I know I didn't mean to say that. You keep finding peanuts. Where are they coming from? So I know where they're getting my peanuts, the peanuts that they're planting here. I had a neighbor that moved. Yes, if there were 350 squirrels, I would pack up and move. So I had a neighbor that moved, but two houses over, he used to grow peanuts, and I think that they come back every year, and I think the squirrels are going over there, getting the peanuts, and then planting them over here. But I need them to get gone. So I have chicken wire, and something that Cece said in one of my videos, I'm going to get the clothespin clips or whatever they're called, and I'm going to put the chicken wire and clip them over my beds to keep them from digging, or at least try to at least. You did your cukes again. You planted some squash and basil seeds. Yeah, I'm going to use my basil transplants that I've been growing. I do want to know, can I plant, how frost tolerant is celery? That's what I want to know. Yes, these chickens are for the freezer. Okay. A squirrel that tries to hut, like you have friendly squirrels? Squirrels are my enemy too. So I agree with you there. I agree with you there. Chickens in the freezer. That's a great thing there. All right. So we're gonna talk about raised beds. This is my first year having. Yeah, you grow celery all year long. So So what is the lowest the temperature can go for celery? If anybody knows in the chat. So because I'm thinking of putting some in the raised bed, because I have a ton of celery here that I grew in hydroponics, and I want to try to put some of it outside in the garden bed or even in my enclosure. So I want to put it in different places because I want to know how it grows. So that is something that I want to do. I could call what friendly forage. I don't like squirrels, so I don't call it friendly at all. All right. So raised garden bed is a bed that sits on top of the ground enclosed by a frame of wood or metal or stone and filled with a custom soil mix, right? So wait a minute. Hey, sweet time, how are you? Let's see. That's my art. You grow celery. Celery handles light freezes just fine, and Van handles harsh freezes if it's okay to the wetter weather. So it can't handle anything below um, 36 degrees. Oh, so I probably should not plant it outside because our nights still dip into the 20s sometime. So I probably got to wait a week or so. That's unfortunate. So thank you for telling me about it. So for those of you that are having raised beds, here are the pros. Total soil control, so you can create the perfect soil blend for what you want to grow, and there's no more fighting clay. Better drainage, warms up faster. Early in the spring, extending your growth season, and is less bending over, make it easier to plant, right? So that is about raised beds. Um, Good morning, TFP. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So the thing I like about the raised bed out there is it's the galvanized metal. So I'm hoping that it warms up, and I'm gonna start planting in it first. I mean, not first, but I planted out a section of my bed with brassicas. The next thing that's gonna be planted out is the raised bed. Um, Raised beds warm up faster, so you've been planting in those, okay? So what I may do is, and I think it's possible to do this, maybe I'll plant the celery in the raised bed and then cover it if it's going to be a night that's too cold. Sweet time, welcome in. I think it's your first time here, so welcome in. For those of you that are new, we have quite a bit of newcomers that I've never seen before. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button on your way in. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So here are the cons for your raised bed. The upfront cost of putting the soil and the investment of putting the soil in the bed. And I'm 100% gonna agree with that because it cost me a lot of money to fill up that humongous bed out there, right? And it dries out faster, I heard. So soil is exposed on all sides, so you gotta, water it frequently and do all those things. So that I'm gonna have, it's a learning curve, but I don't think I'm gonna have a problem watering. Most of you guys know that I go out early in the morning to water wood chips in the bottom of your raised beds. So what I do is I don't have wood chips in the bottom of mine. Riz, good morning, good morning. I see everybody coming over from TFP stream, so thank you, Natalie. If it was your suggestion, I appreciate it. Good morning. Rob, you're not a newcomer. But good try though. Good try though. So for raised beds, right? How many of you guys have your raised beds have irrigation? Because I see that in a I don't know what you mean foraging. I don't know if you spelled that right. Yes, you need about 20 bags of soil to fill up those raised. Very expensive. I won't even tell y'all how much I spent in my raised bed. So I tried to fill it with soil at first. You may have posted. Well, thank you, Habitual. I really appreciate it. Hold on one second. I don't know what is going on here. I'm being flagged. Give me 1 second, you guys. Huge killers. It took up. Okay. 1 second. I'm being flagged, you guys. Oh, it's fine. Oh, okay. So, no, they're not back. He was telling me that there's squirrels out there digging in my garden. Yeah, she spelled it right. Soil gets expensive, but once you have it, you're good. Okay. So, good morning, Denise. So, we got to do something about the squirrels. And that just means that maybe before the stream, you guys know that I've been saving peppers and stuff like that. I'm going to grind them up, and probably sometime today, we're going to go in and spread out some hot pepper flakes in the garden because the squirrels are out there having their heart's desire of digging this morning. They're not coming for me, but we do have a lot of squirrels, and they're chunky over here. Squirrels fit in pots. Not my pots. I don't eat squirrels. Crafty Organics, great to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I hope you're coming in and hitting that thumbs up and subscribing this morning. I'm glad to see a lot of new faces. So about these rates, so what I am glad about for in terms of the squirrels is they can't. I didn't see your comment, Tigsy. I'll scroll back up. Oh, you know why I didn't see the comment, y'all? Nobody told me that I didn't have my live chat on. I only had top chat. Did I see your comment? Type it again, because it's probably way up there. And good morning again, Tigsy. I don't think I saw you when you first came in. Let's see. Huge culture is a German permaculture technique for building raised gardening beds, burying wood, logs, and branches beneath the compost. All right. You can always recycle your soil by amending it and adding organic matter. Correct. Hey, TZ. Good morning, Roshita Boo. Okay, so Tiggs, I didn't see your comment. If you could type it in again, I don't know if I can scroll up and see it. Um, okay. You do remember that some squirrels and birds did attack a row of your seed cups a few years, so you built the clothes rack outside your garden? Okay. If you get hungry enough, you'll try some squirrel soup. Not me. Not me. So for me, I don't think I could eat a squirrel or groundhog or the skunk that comes through because a lot of people keep telling me um, that some of these things will be in their pots and for dinner, and I can't do it. You dreamed about being in the garden? That's a great sign, Roshita. It's a great sign. So, um, here's some tips. Do you dream about being in the garden? Sometimes. Groundhogs can carry the plague? That's disgusting. See, that's why the groundhogs can't be dinner, right? So some tips for your raised beds, and tell me if you guys do this. So they said aim for depth, right? So 10 to 12 inches deep to give roots plenty of room. So that's the purpose of raised beds, is so that you can plant stuff that goes in deeper. So you fill it right the first time. So use a mix of compost, topsoil, and something for aeration like perlite or vermiculite for a perfect blend. And then consider a drip line. So installing a soaker hose or drip irrigation saves water and time. So I know that Cece just got a soaker hose, which was amazing. So I think eventually over time, I'm going to put irrigation out in my garden, but over time. Garden of Zig, good morning. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome into the stream this morning. So we have so many newcomers. I'm super happy about that. Let me just put up another poll this morning. Yeah, Jex, how's your greenhouse? Did yours blow away? I think I saw they said growing what I eat, his greenhouse blew away. That's also um one of my garden goals is to get a grow a gar- a greenhouse. But I want one of those fancy greenhouse where I can open up the windows. Mm, give me 1 second. So I know a lot of you are going to say is you can't pick just one, but if you look at the question, right? Remember, the more clear, the hotter. Yeah, if you use clear containers, it gets hotter. So here's the question, right? It says, which one do you grow in the most? So you should be able to pick one. Kanisha, good morning. Good morning. 80s part. Why do I keep missing Tigsy's comments? Good morning, Farmer Chaz. Love your nice mellow voice early in the morning show. Nice and soothing. Thank you. Good morning, Sat. Is 80s party here today? Okay, nice 80s party. Dang, you already voted. greenhouse, greenhouse. The more clear, the hotter. Oh, gotcha. Um, well, that's where I live at. That's kind of what I want. That's kind of what I want. TZ, you know what's so funny about your comment? You're not the only one that said that. Someone else, I think it might have been Broke, that said something about my voice. So I'm glad that it can be soothing. Um, Sometimes it's hard for me to watch my videos back and hear my own voice. I don't know if anybody else is like that. You feel like you grow in containers the most because it's year round, um, and you grow most food in the ground. 70 degrees you have to open up or get 120. Wow. I remind you of your aunt. Good morning, Tag. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. So you don't like to hear or you grow in. So I grow in all methods, but I grow in ground the most. You grow in grow bags and green stalks the most. Okay. Same. I hate hearing your own voice. Your voice is cool and calm. Okay. Oh, Tag, did you see my email? I think it'll be April 4th through that following Sunday. I'll be there. So for those of you that use grow bags, right? Do you put like a foil pan or a plastic pan up underneath it to keep it from drying out? You're driving back home, so you're listening in. Thank you for listening in. This should be your first year growing in all raised beds. So J3, have you grown in raised beds before? And I hope everybody's so happy spring, everybody. For those of you that are just coming in, okay. So let's look at. So it looks like most of you guys saucers in the summer. Yes, yeah. So I'm thinking about doing the same things. I have potatoes under. Yes, you put watering pans and pots under your bags. So you're versatile. You grow in all things. So I'm pretty versatile too. Um, you don't put anything. So TZ, do you have drip, or do you just know you have like a schedule of which you water? Um, no, but you're starting this year. You put one of those rolling pan holders under your grow bags. Okay, okay. It depends on the plant needs. Okay. Raised beds and big pots are so much simpler. You don't have to dig. You just use your hand. Correct. Everybody's saying hello. Large pots for tomatoes, plants, and squash. Okay. Okay. So interesting, all the different ways that you guys are growing this year and the different things that you're growing in them. Is there one specific plant that you like to grow in your raised bed? So for me, I think I don't want plants that grow too tall. TZ has a gardening crew that waters her garden. I don't believe that. You're going out there this morning, Four Seasons, to clean it up. No problem, Tag. You were tilling a garden spot, but too many tree roots. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, so um, if you're a small container gardening, right? You love your Vigo greenhouse. It held up to 49 miles per hour winds the other day. Hey, Unique, welcome in. You learned your bags and pots over the bit. You learned. So TZ saying, I learned my bags and pots over the years. They will let you know when it's time to water. You also have a hand meter. I have a hand meter. The chat is going so fast this morning, and I'm trying to catch everything you guys are saying. Crafty, I water every other day during the drought, just with the hose. Summer squash and raised beds. Got it, got it. You like bee balm. Like the bee balm does better with a raised bed and it gets powdery mildew in ground with poor drainage. Okay, that probably also depends on what type of soil you have in ground. Sometimes you just put pans to try and stay on a watering schedule. You use the days of the week, like Wednesday for watering and Friday to feed. Got it. So yeah, a hand meter. I don't know if I have one, but it's essentially like a little tool. You can Google it. You stick it in the ground, and it tells you whether the soil is um, is too dry. You can also, if you dig down in your pots or your bed 2 inches or so, and it's dry down there, that's a sign to water. So I use what they call, I guess you call it the finger test. So yeah, everybody's saying hello. All right, so let's talk about the versatile option, container gardening. And I like container gardening mostly because you can move the containers around. So that is the great part about container gardening. You can grow plants in any type of container, from plastic terracotta pots to 5-gallon buckets or fabric grow bags. A lot of people start their containers in red, like they start their plants in red cups and then they just go plop, they empty them and plop them down in the grow bags and stuff. Excuse me. I've grown stuff in containers. Soil moisture meter, right? So that's what the name of it is. And like I said, you can find them on Amazon and stuff like that. You updated your watermelon patch. Video coming soon. All right, I can't wait to see it. Um, you hate the fact that you can't go on vacation in the summer? Why not? I do. So let me tell you what I do. Either I have someone to come over and water for me, or we deal with it when we get back. So I'm that type of gardener because I believe that you also need time for yourself. You use those 20-pound containers to get, and they're heavy, they get heavy to move around. Get one of the little pulley things. Hi, Extreme Labs. uh, yeah, so I love that. So for container gardeners, you can move your containers around so that they get less sun, more sun if they're drying out in one specific place. There is no problem, Lynette. No problem. Your garden is your vacation. Okay. Yes, a dolly. So get a dolly to move stuff around. And some containers have wheels. So like for example, the green stalks have wheels and spinners. I'm not paying for their, this is not a paid promotion, but some people do like green stalks because they have wheels, and that's why I like the green stalk, because it has wheels. But I also have the grow bags that have like the handles and stuff on it. Um, so yeah, you can. Every garden container should have a hand truck dolly. That's right. That's right. You should have a hand truck or a dolly. Okay, so you can. It's perfect for renters. It's perfect for balconies, patios, even front steps. Am I on schedule? Yep, I am. Mobility. You can move plants around, the sun can protect it, and you can control pests and diseases because you can isolate it better. And it's better to manage the problems. The cons are, and we've all been talking about it, the biggest challenge is small pots can dry out in a matter of hours on a hot day, right? Also for container gardening, Plants can become root bound, stunning their growth. No matter the size of the container matters. So you have to make sure with containers you get the right size container for your plants. And then you also have to deal with nutrient depletion. So plants use nutrients in potting mix quickly and need regular feeding, stuff like that. So make sure you think about that before you're planting. Your cart and tractor are being deployed today. You got mountains to move. Whoa. Casters an option. I saw dolly carts on a ton of popular discount website. Okay. Thumbs up. 40 thumbs up. I see. Oh yeah, Miss JK, can you tell everybody what moisture meter you use for your grow bags? Oh, ants. You don't mind ants. I mind ants. I don't like it when my grandmother has like fire ants all around her yard, so I don't like ants. Anybody's ever stepped into a fire ant bed before? It can be painful. So let your fabric pot sit on the ground and it will root to the ground also. That happened to me before. Craft Organics happened to me before. Yeah, fire ants are different. The ants are coming into your house. Oh no, you got to get the little ant traps. Ant traps. You don't like ants either for that same reason? Yeah. So tips for success in containers, right? Tips for success. Bigger is better. So choose the larger container and you can manage the plant better. So larger containers. Drainage is not negotiable. Make sure your containers have the drainage holes in them. And if you buy these containers from these stores and it only has one hole, drill yourself some more holes in there because you don't want water to be sitting in those pots. It can root rot. It can, cause root rot with your plants. You got your moisture meter from Aldi's. Okay. And for containers, don't use garden soil because it's compacted. You got to use something and it can waterlog your pots. So use a very dense, not compact container. Burpee makes moisture meters. You got one during year end at clearance. Yeah. TZ was saying before, I don't know if it was in my chat, or on a video, Black Friday, they have a lot of sales. And so that's when she ended up getting a lot of her garden supplies. So make sure you catch the sales when they come. And, gardening season is about to start. And so a lot of people are going to say for these big box stores that they're having sales, right? Look at what the prices are before they go on sale. And then look at the prices once they put them on sale. Some of those sales aren't really sales. So be very careful when buying all of your stuff for the garden this year. Make sure when you catch a deal, make sure it's actually a deal, right? Dollar Tree sells moisture meters too. Here in your area, you have ant mountains. You pour boiling water on them. You can also pour, I think, high concentrated vinegar will kill ants too. I think that's what one of my friends uses. So we traded in the groundhogs for squirrels. And I mean, they are chunky squirrels. That's what I keep looking around at, you guys. And they're digging holes all in the dirt over here. All right. So we talked about vertical containers. Vertical gardening is somewhat of the same. It's for me seemed like it was the same as container gardening, but not all containers go vertical, right? So growing vertical if you have a small space like balconies and all that other stuff. Am I scary? I'm not scared of the squirrels. I'll chase the squirrels. They're catching my attention. You headed to your nursery to get some of your favorite Greenstock Pro mix. Okay. Filling all of them today. And ants hate diatomaceous earth as well. So yeah, they do hate DE. Red velvet ants sound like a snack. That's disgusting. Have y'all seen the upside down tomato method? I wouldn't do that. They are waiting for their big bed. The big bed is finished. Squirrels need bird spikes. Be careful. Just be careful not to touch them. I'm going to look that up. 1/3 peat, 1/3 compost, 1/3 manure. Wait, I missed it. 1/3 peat, 1/3 compost manure, 1/3 topsoil. Dr. Earth 444. Exactly. When they start chasing me back, what am I gonna do? Um, I have a BB pew pew that they won't chase me back. But yeah, the big bed is full. I'm gonna take you over there in a minute and see. So yeah, let's talk about vertical gardening. Yes, I'm 5 feet one. 5 feet one. So growing vertical. So y'all know I grow vertical, but I only grow vertical to a certain extent because I don't like it when my plants and stuff get too tall because then I have to um, get like a step stool to harvest. So yeah, I think it's funny you brought up how tall I am in chat. So I am very very short. So I do vertical plant, but like y'all know, I refuse to buy any of the green stalks that are like the bigger tiers because I don't want to be like reaching up to harvest things and to take care of plants. And what if they get too big? Right, Nancy. There's nothing wrong with it. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. How are you? You in the bushes listening? No problem. Yeah, have an awesome day to you too. So yeah. So here it is. Using vertical space to grow plants on trellises, wall pockets, or in stacking systems. So I've seen people do the wall pockets. Has anybody ever seen a picture, right? And it's usually on a fence where people use old jeans and they put soil in the pockets of the jeans and then they put plants in and that's how like they're gardening. Or a lot of people use the trellises to like let their plants grow and they let cucumbers or any type of vining plants grow up on trellises, and that pretty much it helps with the amount of growth space, but it also helps with other things, right? Let's see. I did a topsy-turvy on a grape tomato and it worked very well. 5-gallon bucket. It needs water twice a day. That's a lot of water. See. Oh wow, Cece, they saying you don't seem much taller than us. Richard just means they're closer. Yeah, we're shorty gardeners and we're closer to our. Matter of fact, Cece, how tall are you? Rose, you're five. Don't mind me, y'all. I'm 5'9", and you wish you was petite. Wow. You're building trellises today. What kind of trellises are you building, sweet time? You used to grow your tomorrow plant 16 feet. Now let them hang over the trellis. Okay. So how tall? Florida weave. I'm just saying, how tall are you, Cece? Because you're not that far from your plants either. Mind my business. You so funny. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna end this poll real quick. And that poll. And as you can see, 42% of you grow mainly in raised beds. 39% of you grow mainly in the garden. 17% grow in ground. And only 2% of you never grew before. Okay. CC is 5 foot none. Okay. Good morning, Miss T. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So trellises, right? Let's get to it. So green stalk planters, or is it not trellises, but vertical planters? Green stalk planters, pallet gardens, hanging basket, trellising for cucumber or beans. Okay. So that's what some examples. So pros, right? The ultimate solution for tiny balconies and patios. So if you're, growing vertically, that is your ultimate way to grow. Um, Good airflow on them. So if you grow vertically, you can reduce fungal diseases because it helps with airflow in and out. Easy for harvesting. Many plants and crops are at a comfortable height, so you can kind of like just reach in and pick them. So, you met Cece in person, so you can kind of tell us how tall Cece is. And how tall are you, Teasy? Because if you and Cece are around the same height, that might be very telling. Very telling. All right, some cons for growing vertically. Top tiers can dry out quickly, while bottom tiers can stay wet for longer. So systems with built-in watering systems can solve this. So, um, okay. Oh, good morning, Tasha. How are you? 8-foot pine, 1x3 board, simple cuts, and glued and screwed. So you're making a trellis out of that. Good morning, Chasm. You're listening while getting ready for work, or you work most weekends. CC is 5'4", 5'5". You're 5'10"? Wow. Wow. Yeah, don't forget to hit the, thank you, Four Seasons, for reminding me. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Okay. Another thing, right? Vertical systems can be pricey, don't have to be pricey, but can be pricey. Specialized systems can be an investment. Yeah, we talking about gardening. You used to be 6 foot. Yeah, we do shrink over time. And for growing vertically, is limited for plant choices. So you have to plant smaller plants, though some systems can handle a surprisingly larger variety. So green stalk, you can grow a lot of stuff in it. So kiddie pools with holes cut out of the bottom work great for balcony gardens. Yeah, if your balcony can hold a kiddie pool, you could do that. I tried to put a kiddie pool in my grandmother's yard. It did not work because I did not poke big enough holes in it. And wind can be a thing too. Um, y'all ever had wind blow over your systems? Wow, 5 feet large. Nine. I lost and cut out the 1 inch hole. You can hold kiddie pools. You can do that. You tried to put a kit in the yard. How did it? Intensity of no shading. You're shrinking in size, not height. Good job, J3. Good job. All right, so tips for successful um, growing vertically. Tips, right? Vining plants, strawberries, herbs, and leafy greens are perfect for growing vertically, right? And then another tip is make sure if you're growing vertically, tall structures need to be anchored very securely to make sure that the wind doesn't tip it over. You put several old card tables around your deck. Intensity of no shading. Okay. Your mic picked up what? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Going to let your bird. You have chickens, Kanisha? I didn't know. I didn't know that I knew that. Well, you have a great. Thank you, Craft. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You bought 12 boards from the box store, just cutting them and making them into simple ladder style trellises for vining plants, about $25. That, make sure you guys check out Sweet Time. Make sure you record it. I would love to see it. You're really 5'9", lost an inch. I would like to borrow some inches on some days. You just that's why I tell people all the time, make sure you like coming in because you can forget easily. Oh, so you put you put pots on your tables. Okay. Oh, it's snack. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do this again. I'm gonna make it for less this time. We're gonna do memberships, and we didn't fully hit the other goal. I could probably do some more memberships today. Here we go. Let's see what happens. You're watching on the big screen? Okay. Fluffy freeloaders. Funny. All right. All right. All right. We're going to put up another poll too. Let's try a poll really quick. Let's try. Um, So since we're talking about all the different methods of growing, let's try this. Give me 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me put up this poll real quick. And we're going to talk about this. And all right, let's try this. There we go. Okay, so I got the poll up. And all right, for kiddie pools on the balcony, how do you keep the water damage from destroying the balcony floor unless it's wooden? Yeah, I've never heard of anybody doing it on the balcony, but I'm assuming they have some type of drip thing that it can run off. We can chat about it in Discord. Absolutely. So if you haven't and you're not part of the Discord or my Discord, because I know there is another Discord out there, make sure you go into the Discord, become members, and we could do all the things and chat about all the things. There are several different forums in there. Thank you, CC. Several different forums in there where we could talk. We also have people, we brag a lot in there. We show our plants and do all those things. So if you have time, let's do that. Okay, I think I got all the things. So let's talk about those of you that are gardening in small spaces and everything with the poll today, right? So not having enough sunlight, not knowing what to do with a small space. Everybody make sure you take the poll. I see everybody jumping in, taking the poll. That's wonderful. So something, Imani, good morning. Something that I have recently been doing, I'll show you in a minute. Again, for those of you that are new here, I'll show you where I'm growing indoors hydroponically. So I'm going to take a minute to talk about the soil-free method of growing, right? So here's another method of growing. Doesn't necessarily have to be outside, right? And that's to method of growing hydroponically or just growing hydroponics. So you can grow plants without soil using a water-based solution rich in mineral and nutrients, right? Some examples of hydroponics are crack key jars, deep water culture buckets, countertop systems like Arrow Garden, A-Hope Gardens, let pots and things like that, right? Okay, bare root items are great if you know how to plant them properly. Most folks don't soak them before planting. You must soak them all a couple hours, and then we leave our trees to soak overnight. I am so happy you said that, TZ, because I actually just bought my grandmother about 4 trees that I need to figure out and watch videos on how to plant before I get there. So she has a apple tree that I bought, 2 persimmon trees, and then she wanted a blueberry bush. And then we're going to move one of her other apple trees to be where the new apple tree is going to go so that they can kind of help each other. So yeah, I've seen people growing in crates. Correct. I saw people growing potatoes, garlic, and a lot of other things in crates. So that's true. Very, very true. So let's talk about hydroponics. Things grow extremely fast in hydroponics. They can grow up to 30 to 50% faster because the nutrients are readily available, right? So that's one thing about growing in hydroponics. Bare root strawberries and asparagus you soak overnight too, but a few hours will work as well. I just, I have some. You'll wait, I'll stay. Okay. So you love the green stalks, but they are very expensive. So pick and choose. You can also use like the Temu vertical growing systems. There are a lot of them out there, a lot of the stores. So I have to find a place to grow my asparagus because I don't want to put them in a bed near the other things. You soaked your butterfly, peas and date seeds overnight. Yeah, so hydroponics, right? So water efficient, it uses up to 90% less water than soil gardening, which I did not know at first. And you can grow year round, which I've been doing, and I'll show you. And then no weeds, fewer pests. So they do have pests. You can get aphids in your hydroponics too. So all those things, crack key, hydroponics, aquaponics, all those things. Um, and you have to be very careful about growing in hydroponics because you can get a variety of pests indoors that can pretty much decimate and make you start over. I don't know if you guys have been watching the Fresh Princess channel. She had to completely chop down and Cocoa Drip chop down and start over because her whole grow tent had thrips. So she's choosing to start over. She's going to clean out everything and start completely over with a new grow, which was sad to see, but I'm glad that she saw it before the infestation got worse. So, okay. So Rose says, "Oh, I had a question about hydroponics, the fertilizer. So you add them at the same time." So I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer for that, but I know for me, I've tried it two ways. When I planted my seeds, um, I put fertilizer in it, right? And you guys know that I've been experimenting. So I use the A and B fertilizer, but then I also transitioned into using the general hydroponics stuff. So like Maxi Bloom, Maxi Grow, CalMag. You have to be careful, read the labels, make sure you put the right amount of fertilizer in there. Hydroponics, you have to stay on top. You're right, you do have to stay on top of heat, contamination, water levels, power. So if you don't have a generator, what are you going to do if your lights go out? What happens with the hydroponics? I'm assuming as long as it's a short period of time, you'd be okay. But for the fertilizers, I've added fertilizers in the beginning of a grow. I've also um, added fertilizer as I go. So yeah, that's where asparagus work great in a grow bag. Okay, your kiddie pool would be great for asparagus, keeping it contained. Okay, but yeah, so I don't know if that answers your question about the fertilizer, but there you go. The cons are it's a learning curve. So it's a lot of technical things with hydroponics depending on how big your system is, right? So depending on how big your system is, it could be a learning curve. Ty, good morning. I don't know if I spoke. So if it's a power outage can be fatal to plants that's on active systems if it lasts too long. So that's a problem. And for hydroponics, you need kind of like constant monitoring. You're becoming the soil, so you're responsible for monitoring the pH and nutrient levels. So that's something with hydroponics, right? So I'll show you, and then soon you'll be seeing something come to the channel. You have a hard time finding liquid fertilizers in the store. I don't go searching for the liquid fertilizers in the store. I buy most of mine online. So I buy most of my liquid fertilizers online. Kanisha says she hasn't had any issues with damage to the deck from the pools only because they are raised up off the deck. Okay. You grow asparagus in black totes. You can get them at the big box stores. Thank you for that, Teagsy. You don't like pests, so you use your air garden sometimes to grow peppers in the winter and starting seedlings before bringing them outside. I'll show you what I did in a minute. You like that your hydroponics comes with apps. Yeah, she was Crafty. You're right. She was devastated. I actually did a TFP is going to be on the podcast, and I'm actually in the middle of deciding whether I'm going to push out her episode for a couple weeks to give her time to kind of like reset. I don't want to drive people or to her channel when she's in the middle of resetting. So I think I'm going to push out her episode and, push someone ahead of her because, you know, I pre-record that series. So yeah, I do like hydroponics that have apps too, mainly because I can keep track of how long something's been growing. But with hydroponics, what I've also been doing is writing on the sticker so I know when I started something, because writing in my little notebook here was becoming a little bit overwhelming for me. So I'll show you we're going to actually end off with the hydroponics and things that I've grown in it. And we'll talk about some of the things that I'm thinking of looking to do in the future with hydroponics, which is why I pretty much saved it for last, right? So 4 hours is max with no power with the hydro. So, Craft, do you have a generator? What do you do when the power goes out? What do you do when your power goes out? So, tips for success. Try a passive cracky jar for a single lettuce and head and learn the basics without any pumps. Also, you really don't need to keep adding nutrients to your hydroponic system. Some folks add too much. You only add in the beginning, and when you add more water, color is light after adding. Yeah. So when I add my nutrients, I add my nutrients when I give the system more water. That's what my system tell me. You're a super soil guy, both indoor and outdoor. Okay, I get you. I get you. Um, Light is key if you're growing indoors. Invest in a decent full system LED grow light. So I know a lot of people, they don't like to spend money on the grow lights. I have several different types of grow lights here. So hello, Life with Tasharia. Banana peels and coffee grounds are good for the garden as well. Yeah, I do put some out in my garden. I've actually been saving the banana peels, the orange peels, everything that we're using for waste. I've been putting it in my tumbler. Finally, I'm trying to get to the composting part of it. All right. And follow the formula. Don't eyeball your nutrients. This is a tip that I think a lot of people need to know. Don't eyeball your nutrients. Follow the instructions on the bottle. You don't want to overfeed your plants and then you end up burning them, because that could become a bad thing, right? It said dilute it. Don't add too much. Exactly. Your plants sit in the nutrient water after they get true leaves. Also have the hydroponic garden with apps can help me. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Carol. I don't know if I said hello earlier, but if I didn't, good morning. Okay. So let me just ask you this before we trickle over to some more stuff. So for gardening, right? So that was the discussion on hydroponics. I kept it very simple, high level. So in the poll, for those of you that are gardening, the for those of you that have limited space, not having enough sunlight is the biggest thing. And then it's a tie between the cost of containers and soil, and you don't know what to grow in a space. And then not many of you have problems remembering um, ordering things. Okay. Yeah, overfeeding is more detrimental than underfeeding. Correct. I did learn that. A 20,000 watt generator, a big one from dang, that's big, from 1989, right? So I'm going to ask you guys a few things. What is the most appealing to you for hydroponics? Tell me like why you think it's the most appealing. I'll tell you what my thing is, right? I just feel like it's like cheating. For someone who lives in a cooler climate, when I discovered hydroponics this year, it was like a game changer because it let me know that I could start everything so much earlier and have well established plants. And I could grow stuff and eat off them indoors all winter long. So, yeah, you've been using a tumbler for compost over 10 years with tons of worms. Best fertilizer ever. Yes. Tracy, question about your tumbler. Did you ever put worms in your tumbler, or do they naturally come? Because I haven't put any worms in my tumbler yet. I'm thinking of taking some out of the garden and putting them in there. So you have it in your room. You almost bought a generator and went with the Tesla battery when you installed the solar panels. Okay. Year-round growth and seeds germinating faster. You just have an open compost pile and you scrapped it to the side and odor. Keeps me growing in the winter, keeps you happy. Do a worm video if you do, meaning like a video of me taking worms and putting them in the composter. I could do that. I need to find the worms to go in. I don't know if I'm going to take worms from the garden and put them in the tumbler or what. What would you guys do? But yeah, for me, hydroponics is a cheat code to gardening, and that's what we do. So some people like it because you use less water. So I have jugs of water over there that I've been doing. Four Seasons said it. It's the ability to grow indoors year round, faster plant growth. And some people like growing in hydroponics because it's cool. Unique says being able to control more aspects of gardening is your main reason. Chasm, you're gonna buy worms? Yeah. You put worms in everything. They survive even when you think there's no way. Okay, you have a 3-tier grow light station. It was pricey, but there are inexpensive ways to build a grow light station. There are. Most appealing because you can still grow when it's 15 below outside. And you're happy seeing them in the morning. Yeah. I come out and I talk to my plants that are growing in hydroponics. I have up potted a lot of stuff that was growing in hydroponics. And yeah, I mean, there's it's like unlimited options with growing in well, I mean, there are limits. You do have those systems. I think Gwen has the let pot that has the system that has the 2 holes, and you can grow 2 big plants even if, let's say you're growing outside during the summertime and you don't want to grow a lot of stuff inside. They have the systems where you can grow like bigger stuff in them, and that's intriguing to me. So yeah. And then here's a question for you guys. After learning about the various methods, which new method are you likely to try? Cardboard and a pile of leaves in a cool shaded spot will usually be a good place to gather worms. Okay, so maybe, I think there are spots. Good morning, the Nichols. Good morning. I think there are spots in my yard where I could lay down some leaves and stuff like that. I like hydroponics because you can grow inside and outside. We're 85% hydro in 2021. Inside and out, we grew strawberries outside in partial shade. They were beautiful and delicious. Okay. Okay, hydroponic system, that's your fast growth, eating center all year. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed growing in my hydroponics. You guys know I did like the collard greens and the mustards and stuff, and I'm still eating off that stuff. Now, the collard greens and the cabbages and stuff, they're out in the garden now. So, yeah, it helped me put them out in the garden, and they're well established plants, stuff like that. So, let me just show you guys, and we're going to go back to talking about the celery in a minute. Am I on schedule? I'm ahead of schedule. Look at me ahead of schedule. See that, CC? Ahead of schedule. So if you have any questions about anything about the 4 methods, drop it in the chat. We're going to go through those questions in a bit and talk a little bit about the hydroponics. That's why I ended up talking about it. Whether you have a huge yard or a tiny windowsill, there's a gardening method for you. You can grow in pots and containers. The core benefits of growing in each we talked about today. So thank you guys for the amazing participation. And so now let's shift a little bit, right? Okay, Craft Organics, we'll go. I have a super soil worm feed straight in a pot with live plants. Wow. You find worms under your grow bags. So maybe I'll go on a worm hunt at some point today with my gloves on, of course. I don't like to feel the ickiness of it all. Okay, so worms. All right. So let's take a look. I'll show you guys. You were catching up, Ty? Okay. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what we're going to do today. We are going to split one plant. So, okay. So I think I showed you guys last week. Let me move this down. I showed you guys last week. You see I have the cucumber here. It's getting bigger. So now what I'm going to do is split it down Yeah, you can grow food without a pump. I'm going to split this one down and I'm going to create two. So I'm going to put one, leave one here and put one here. These are the quick snack muncher cucumbers. It's going to be in here with this tomato, which I need to raise the light, I think. I try not to raise the light because of the cucumber plant, but yeah. And then you can see my dill over here is finally coming up. And I have some other plants that are coming up, but they're not past the stickers yet, so I didn't take the domes off of it. So let me do this. Right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my step stool so I can kind of show y'all what's down in that hydroponic system. And I'm kind of gonna give you guys a little bit, move this stuff off this step stool, a little bit of a tour. You're in the bushes, you're packing up your office today. Unique, I'm so excited for you. You just don't know how excited I am for you to have the new yard. Then we're going to look at this because, you know, we planted a lot in here last week, but let me just see what all is growing up here. So I'm going to raise the light just to show you guys some things. Okay. All right. So it looks like everything is growing except for the sage. And I will show you. All right. You really enjoying watermelon radishes? So I don't eat a lot of radishes, but that is my favorite one. So let's check out this system here. So there is if you check in here, I don't know if it's focusing, but this is the dark purple opal basil tilted. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but it's finally coming up. And then nothing from the sage, so I'm not even going to uncover that. But you can kind of see down in there, the chamomile is finally coming up. In both of them, actually. Check out my dill. It's looking pretty good so far. And then over here, we have the parsley. You can kind of see that. And it's the same thing in the other one. Hey, Sunny D. Nisi, yeah, I've had a hard time this growing season too. So let me see if I can zoom. There you go. I don't know if it's going to focus, but I've had a hard time growing. I have had a hard time growing my dark purple too. So this is the first one that actually sprouted here. Zoom you back out. There we go. So let me just let down. So I can tell you that for this particular hydroponic system, I have grown mainly herbs in it. And I think it might have been CC that I called when I first got the system. I did not like that this is as far as the light went down. I did not like it. So I'm doing great this morning. How are you? Hydroponics growers, please try not to grow in a space after coming outside of the garden. It only... Yes, okay. So I'm glad that you bring that up. Try not to go in the space of your hydroponics when you've been outside. Make sure you shower and change your clothes because you don't want to bring any pests that you have outside, inside. So that was that hydroponic system, right? So you'll know that in this hydroponic system, a lot of these plants that are over here, between this system and this system, came these plants. So check out my celery. They're doing great. You guys know that we split them. So check out all the celery over here that we split. You may wonder what I have going over here. This is my gnat trapper. Because y'all know I had fungus gnats. So here we go here. Thank you for all the thumbs up, everybody. And you see that I had my rosemary. Some of it I started in seed trays, but all the celery was started in hydroponics. And that's why I kind of wanted to know if these celery are good enough to go outside. I think they are. I might want to put them in an area that I could cover them. And then up here, I have the oregano and more celery and some peppers that I'm nursing. Y'all see my chamomile, she trying to go to heaven on me, and that's okay because I have some more planted over there. And then, so yeah, my worry about the celery is that we still drop down in the 20s at night. So that is mostly the celery. Utah, it's like two different types of celeries. So yeah, let's see what else. All right. So here's what I really wanted to show you guys. Let me switch it around. Yeah, so yeah, you got to get the bugs and pests off of you before dealing with the hydroponics. So let's see. And I also learned that from the Fresh Princess too, because you got to worry about when you go in other people's grow spaces too, in terms of making sure you don't, trying to position this to where it won't fall. Here we go. Okay. So here, you guys remember I started those, what was it? Your celery should be fine with the cooler temperatures. Thank you. Thank you. So that will actually give me some of my space back, right? So I'm going to save some celery for my grandmother. We're going to take some down south, but we're also going to plant some in the, I think I'm going to put a couple in the raised bed. I'm going to put a few once I top off my soil with compost. I'm going to put a few in my regular garden and one in a container. So that is what the plan is, right? But last week, you guys remember I planted out those, what's the PPFD with that light and the low level? This one, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not very technical with mine. Thank you, Donzel. Some herbs just take longer. Check your seed packet and then make a decision to start over if they don't germinate. Yes. So, you know that I planted 2 of the Cherokee purple here. Check it out. The Cherokee purple. There are 2 of them. So I'm hoping that they get true leaves soon. Stuff like that. And then the tomato that she wants the most, and this is actually my favorite, is the black creme. Did germinate. Is there another one coming in there? I must have only put 1 seed in there, so it germinated in 1 week. So we planted this on the 15th. I'll put this dome back on this one for now. What other? Okay. Then here, I just want to give you guys, I planted 2 in here. Good morning, Sylvia. Here's the Brandywine. Hey, Gina versus Gina. So we planted the Brandywine tomato. Looks like one of them is okay. So you know that these are not for me. These are not for me. Gina is. Nothing wrong with sleeping in. Sometimes I wish I could sleep in. Actually, next weekend I am sleeping in. And what else? And then what we also planted last week for her was the San Marzano. All right, so you check it out. And this is why we love growing in hydroponics. So also, I also am starting to learn what we need to do is write down where we got some of these, write down where we got some of these seeds from. So I got some cayenne hot peppers from Homestead Heart. They germinated super duper quickly, right? 1500 lumen is a great place to start. I'm going to have to start paying attention to that. So I have not been that technical of a gardener, so I never really pay attention to it. And then this one is a bit slower. So this is a Baker Creek seed, the Lesia pepper. So check it out. Do you guys ever take the little things off of your, once they germinate? Let me know. And so I have 2 of those. And then I have another one from, I think, Baker Creek that I got. And here's where the stickers kind of annoy me a little bit. So you see that this one is kind of caught under the sticker. I'm going to try to wait for it to grow up a little bit and then see what it does. Okay. You like the seed starter that I'm using? Thank you, Designs. Welcome in. Welcome in. Everybody, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up and like on your way in. It is free to do so. So I'm just going to put the light back down here. All right. So I like to keep the light very, very, very close to the starts. And we're going to talk about the one that I named after my grandmother really quick. Let me see. The best way to do this would be just to raise you guys up. Here we go. Here we go. Better. All right. So here's my current, it's not a dilemma, but choice that I'm about to make. This mustard is big. See it? Very big. Yeah. So this system has some great seedlings that have come out of it, right? So over here, I planted some kohlrabi because I want to know if I like kohlrabi. So I have 1, 2, 3. Is it 3? 1, 2, 3. 3 kohlrabis, 2 purple, 1 green. Well, the 1 white one over there, I think. Yeah, these 2 are purple kohlrabi. So let me just give you what it looks like. Check out the kohlrabi. It looks pretty. I like it. And last weekend I started 2 broccoli plants. Let me show you. They both came up. They look pretty much the same. So the broccoli. And what I learned with the hydroponics is not to seed too many. Don't put too many seeds in them. Oh, because it's scrolling on my phone. That's how I'm seeing the chat. So yeah, these mustards, I think I'm going to pull out and put in soil, right? So let me know what you think. And this one just looks bad. So I think I'm going to take it out altogether. So let me show you what I mean when I say it just looks bad. So don't know how to fix it. Why is it so yellow? You can never get your kohlrabi to grow. You don't take off the sticker and now you remember what you, okay. Why is it yellow? I feed it the same thing that everything else is, so I still have some in nurseries indoors, your nursery indoors. You can never get your kohlrabi. So this is my first time trying to to grow it in here. That's smart. Do you have a hydroponic system? It may be the seed for this. Okay. But yeah, definitely I think I'm taking these out so that I can lower the light and I'll just maybe plant something different. And then all right, enjoy your day, Teasy. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. No hydroponic systems yet? Okay. You evicted all your plants except for the bell pepper? Okay. All right. So let me just tell y'all, this system down here, I'm convinced that it doesn't like me. I'm trying to be a little bit gentle with it. So I say all the time that I have issues growing flowers, right? So look at this one. It pretty much just dried up on me. She did. I'm assuming that she's dead. This one right here, She's tried to come up, and then there was fuzzies in there, dead. But I do have 2 zinnias here. I think what I'm going to try to do, ooh, look at the roots on there. What I'm going to try to do is maybe separate these 2 and then put them in separate pods, giving it a better time, maybe a better success rate. And then this one grew. It's only one of those. So let me go back and look at the chat. And this one looked like it was trying to grow something. I don't know if you can kind of see. You can't really see it from here. But there's like a little green thing in there. I keep leaving it hoping that something's going to come out of there. So these are all flowers that are not treating me appropriately. I'll just put these back on here just because it makes me feel better. All right. All right. So that is my hydroponics. Let me go back. Oh no, that's why it does take time. Spring chances are shut down, so after resettled, considering a tower hydroponic. Root riot. Your kohlrabi is outside in the ground. Okay, so let me show y'all. Yeah, Shelly acts up. I'm going to plant something other than flowers inside of Shelly. So it looks like low oxygen, stagnant pocket. Okay. I'm actually going to take that system and let me show you what else I did in hydroponics. So I didn't bring my, so you'll see I have peppers over here that I started. Check them out. All these were started in hydroponics. So this cayenne pepper here, and then there's Homesteader Rachel sent me some seeds, so that's there. I have my Carolina Reaper, which I think I have to adjust where the light is on it. So check it out, because the leaves are starting to turn upwards. So number one, I think I need to feed it. And the leaves are starting to turn up, so I need to figure out what to do. So these are ready, and the reason why I started this one was because I essentially need to figure out, yeah, clip grow lights. And then I have these grow lights because I'm going to start seeds soon. So check out all of the growth. And then if you check back there on that plant, there are actually some little peppers that are trying to come out that I'm going to pinch off. So check it out. And then these plants. All right. So that's what I'm growing indoors in my grow systems. One of the things that I wanted to do on stream with you guys is, you know, I have the flowers here, and let me pull one over to the table so I can kind of show you. Remember I grew some flowers in hydroponics and they looked beautiful. I think I have to separate out my coxcomb into different plants, but I don't want to kill it if I do. So I'm hoping that I got some gardeners in here that can help me out. Yeah. Hoping that I have some gardeners that can help me out a little bit. So let me turn it. So yeah, that one system is acting up. So these should not be in the same pot. I'm pretty sure that they're root bound in there. And my problem is I left them in the sponge. So either I'm going to put them in a bigger pot or try to separate them, but I'm thinking separate them might be an issue. So check this out. Don't seem to be dampening off. Hey Montana, cut the sponge. The sponge is down in the soil. What do you mean, Craft, don't seem to be dampening off? I need y'all to get very untechnical with me here. You're welcome, Foraging. I'm at Four Seasons. You're welcome. So tell me, bigger pot or do I try to separate them? The problem with separating them is they're still in the sponge. So CCing is saying cut the sponge, and I think she's saying that because she wants me to squirm, but I don't know. So what am I going to do here? Because the leaves are not doing so great. Help me out. I'm going to get a bigger pot maybe. I'll wait 1 second. So this isn't a pepper, this is a flower. The pepper you started had aphids, you washed it off and cut the tops off? Okay. Yeah, the flowers are pink. And they're coming, look, they're coming out of the sides here too. So what I'm thinking is, I don't want to damage it completely. I'm thinking of putting it in a bigger pot and feeding it, which I have. I cleaned this out. I like that response, Sylvia. So I'm going to put them in a bigger pot. Look for Sweet Thumb. Look for 12 volt or better grow lights. And system, use the USB grow lights. Underpowered. Oh, CC. Okay. So yeah, I think if I put them in a bigger pot, yeah, I have a gallon pot. Put them in a gallon pot. Why are some of the tips on the leaves of your tomato plants turning brown? Are you giving it too many nutrients? Like, are you burning them? Is the light touching them? Okay. It's a gallon pot. Yeah. Yeah, the only problem with separating them is that yes, you find worms under your bags. Bigger pot, don't separate them too big and maybe stressful. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I have some soil here. I'm not gonna wet it like how I did when I first took them out of hydroponics. So yeah, I'm putting them in the bigger pot, and then when I put them outside, I'm hoping, I need more soil. I'm hoping that when I put them outside, the flowers in the hydro are dampening too wet. So they don't like to be, zinnias don't like to be in water, or what is it, wet feet? Is that what it is? Too much water? Yeah, so I'm just gonna up pot for now, until, because these aren't staying inside. So yeah, I'm up potting in a gallon pot here. I might have put too much soil in there, but we'll see. Do I have water? I have water nearby. So, and I'm curious to see bigger pot and leaving together makes for a bushier plant and a pill. That's just me. I'm okay with a pill because this is going in the front of the house. So I kind of wanted it to. All right, Garden Zig, thank you for joining us this morning. Oh, that was a disaster. Kind of fell apart. And if I really look at it, so the roots, because of the type of soil I had it in, the roots didn't really go that far. Check it out. And it's still on the sponge. It could have, just when I looked at it, seems like it could have been just the type of soil that I had it in, which I think could have been it. I think it was the type of soil. So I'm going to water and put it back in the... Look at me being... Yeah, because you know I don't really do flowers like that. And you know, I'm not going to waste this soil. I'm going to mix it with other soil. And I just dropped a bunch of soil on the floor. So yeah, I think it was the type of soil that it was in. So hopefully this new gallon pot will make it better. Yeah, Sylvia, I don't know why I didn't think of that, because I was thinking that at first. So Sylvia is saying that I could have just put the old pot into the soil to make it, and then to make the hole around it. Yeah, I could have did that. Good morning, Miss Ann. You always reuse 1-to-1. Yeah. So here we go. Let me just give it some water, and then I'm going to put it back in the window with the other flowers. And then what I need to do is deadhead the sunflower. And I'm wondering with the sunflower if I cut the head off of the sunflower that's now dead, will it come back? So here's the question, right? Remember this was blooming out before? Remember it was blooming out before? If I cut the tip of this, will I get sunflowers that grow in through here? Let's see. That's my favorite method. Put the pot in the soil and twist it a little, perfect pocket. Yeah. That's why I said I don't know why I did that just now, because normally sometimes I do that. So it depends on this is a dwarf sunflower. So I actually think that it might have run its course. The reason why I ask is because check out, I don't know if you can kind of see it. Let me move this. See in the corner that little tiny thing here that's trying to come out? Is that going to be another sunflower? Because what I want to do is trim off the top to see if another one, not a dwarf sunflower, you can't. But what I do want to do is cut the top off. Depends on the pot. I could up pot it into a bigger pot too, just to see. It could be a little experiment. What I do also need to do is take off these dead leaves. So let me get my little trimmers here. And I do have another gallon pot available. Those will side shoot flowers. That's what I want to know. So I'm going to side shoot the flowers. I'm going to cut the tip off, and then see if any more will grow. And then what I'm also going to do is cut off the dead around it, and I'm going to up pot it just to see if it comes back with any additional flowers. So God, I like these little things. There are some multi-branching flowers, don't think so, on the single branch varieties. I don't know which one this one is or isn't, but we're going to try it out. I'm going to up pot it. Maybe not in, where's that pot? Yeah, I'm gonna put, see, you should see my variety of yellow and orange and red. Okay. All right, so I have another gallon pot here we're gonna use. So just grab some of this soil here. And I'm going to mix it in with the soil that came out of that other pot. Greetings from Germany. Welcome in from Germany. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. You have to check the single stem sunflower or multi-stem. You have to check the seed packet. This seed packet was one of those from Amazon, and it didn't have what it was on there. What I may do, does no shoots are an indicator of multiple flower sites? Looks like another flower bud. Maybe. We're going to see together. I'll give y'all an update in a couple weeks to see what this one does. It doesn't hurt to try, right? Nothing beats a failure but a try. So no extra node shoots. Yeah, I think it has extra node shoots here. So we're going to try it. Now this pot is a little bit too big for me to do it the way that I would normally do it, so. And I also have an issue with this potting soil. So check out the roots there. Is it all the way around? They're toward the bottom too. All right. I'm gonna get her on down in there, pressing her down. Exactly. It's not a failure if you learn from it. So that's what we're essentially, you guys are gonna learn with me on this one in particular, if it's gonna grow any extra side shoots. And like I said, I will give everybody an update. You'll see when I see, because we'll put it on the, we'll talk about it. So we cut the flower off. Thank you, CC, for dropping those channels in. Y'all, those channels that CC is dropping in is for the moderators on the channel because they mod for me. You love Happy Frog? I do have Happy Frog. My generous channel member sent a super chat last weekend for Happy Frog. So we do have some, but it's going in the green stalks. And if I have any left, I'm going to bring it in and use it for some of these seedlings that are in here. So we got another one. Okay. And check out my marigold. I need to cut back some of the foliage until I'm ready for it to go outside. But check out how pretty she is. I grew this in hydroponics as well. It's not time for me to deadhead her yet, but I wanted to show y'all this. Check it out. And I think G Mama told me to cut back the foliage on it, but I like how it looks, so I'm not cutting back anything because I just love it. Look how beautiful she is. So what I'm gonna do is I have a system that I'm gonna reseed the Shelly with the marigolds because I think I told y'all this year I do not want to purchase any marigolds from the big box store this year. I want to grow all my own and put them in the cinder blocks. And I just love how bushy she is and how many, look how many like flower things she has, like here, and then there's one here, and then I think this one is about to open up, and then like there are tiny ones all in the bottom. So yeah, I'm not going to up pot her because soon I'm going to put her out in the garden, but I just wanted to show you guys this marigold. So we're about on our 2 hours. I think we're right on the 2 hours. And yeah, you're right, CC. Marigolds are great for the garden. We're right on our 2 hours. So let me just say this. Make sure you have liked, subscribed. Make sure you follow all the content. Hit all of the channels that CC has dropped in there. There will be content. There was content that dropped last week. If you haven't already, please do watch Shelly's podcast episode that came out last Monday. How long did it take to grow? It wasn't long. So the marigolds I found do very, very well in hydroponics. They come up very quickly. Happy Frog and Ocean Forest is base for your super soil, rabbit manure, and urine with Dr. Earth 444. Thank you for the tip, Crafty. So we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is less of a centered topic. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on the porch, and maybe even starting some things. So thank you again, everybody, for hanging out with me this morning. Hopefully, I'll see most of you back tomorrow, 8 a.m. sharp. Next weekend, I am going to say, I know on Saturday we won't be live streaming. Sunday is a iffy. So next weekend is my wedding anniversary. So have a great day on purpose, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Looks like we're ending live with 65 thumbs up, and I really do appreciate it. So tomorrow, less of a topic. Get you some, yeah, I'm going to be doing zinnias too. I'm going to be putting a lot of stuff in paper towels around these windows tomorrow. So tomorrow's topic is going to be like spring is here, walk, don't run. Everybody take your time with your spring planning. Don't get overwhelmed, and that's what we're going to do. Thank you, CC. So next weekend, we won't be live streaming on Saturday, but we may or may not live stream on Sunday. I will let you know next weekend. So I got a lot accomplished today. We talked about the different gardening methods. And if you haven't joined the Discord, we have a lot of fun over there. So make sure you join the Discord. What's the Discord again? Thank you, Four Seasons. Drop in the Discord. We have moderators over there. So if I can't answer, they do. So click the link, join the Discord. We'll be happy to have you. And yeah. All right. So thank you, Ty. All right, so everybody have a great day. Get some gardening, drop a seeds, have a great day on purpose, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, peace out, everybody.